Now at noon, the man accused of attacking a co-worker in Salem arrested in California. Plus details of a police chase ending in an arrest where the suspect live-streamed her alleged crimes. In national news, why the department in charge of immigration enforcement is on the verge of shutting down. And later, feeling the love at Oregon's Waterfalls. Grant McComey takes us on a tour of some romantic outdoor getaways. And thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Gordon. Our top story at noon, Salem police say this man, 62-year-old Daniel Ray Myers, has been taken into custody in California. He's accused of stabbing a woman after trying to sexually assault her while they were making DoorDash deliveries. The victim told police she and Myers were making deliveries together in West Salem on Tuesday when Myers reportedly drove them to a secluded location and made unwanted advances. She says Myers tried to sexually assault her before he stabbed her multiple times. Authorities say the woman tried to run, but he trapped her inside the car until she was able to escape.
She was able to actually convince him to take her to the Walgreens so she could get some first aid supplies. And when she got out of the vehicle, she reported what had happened to the business there.
After Salem police sent a release to other agencies, police across Oregon and California reported seeing Myers' car heading towards Bakersfield. Police say the victim's injuries were not life-threatening and she's now out of the hospital. If you or someone you know is a survivor of sexual assault, please know that help is always available. You can get support 24/7 by calling the National Sexual Assault Hotline at the number on your screen right there. It's 800-656-4673. Let's take a live look now over the Rose City, and the sky's kind of cloudy out there. It's going to lead up to some rain tonight. Meteorologist Chris McGinnis joins us with some details on that. Hey, Chris.
Actually, this afternoon, rain's not too far off. You see that behind me here, and we'll check that out in a second. But before the clouds thickened up, I caught a really pretty colorful sunrise from Timberline looking down towards Mount Jefferson and the Three Sisters off in the distance. Of course, you can see the cloud cover moving in, though, and obscuring the sun. And, yep, that cloud deck is going to lower and lower and lower and eventually bring some rain. So let's get back to radar. Over the last 3 hours, that front, as we've talked about, getting closer and closer. It's raining along the South Washington and North Oregon coast, raining actually now up towards or just west of Kelso, Longview, and into a good part of Columbia County. And that band of rain is obviously steadily pushing off to the south and east. We're dry right now and probably will be for the next hour or so here in Portland and Vancouver. But again, rain is very close and it will be moving in over the next 90 minutes or so. Wow, that's a very rainy and foggy camera from the Astoria Column sky camera there. 50 degrees. You can see the the Astoria Megler Bridge off in the distance. Breeze picking up there. Cloud cover beginning to, well, not quite onto the tippy top of Mount Hood yet, but that cloud deck will be lowering. That's the live look from Oregon's Veterans Home in the Dalles. Clear below 10,000 feet, but obviously high overcast moving in at 42. And along Vancouver's waterfront, you can certainly see the cloud cover thickening up a bit. We're 48 degrees now in Vancouver. We're 48 here in downtown Portland as well. We'll probably inch another degree or so higher before the rain comes in. Again, rain probably here before 2 o'clock, and then it'll be more wet than not through about 6 or 7 o'clock, with the rain beginning to taper off a bit as we head into this evening. More on that and your weekend forecast. And a look at repeated rounds of Cascade snow in the 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Chris. In Washington, a woman was arrested after a wild chase, much of it caught on camera, either by police or the suspect herself.
Let's go!
The Thurston County Sheriff says that kicked off a police chase after the driver blew through a stop sign. The suspect streamed the entire chase live on Facebook. And we've blurred it because she's not been formally charged with a crime.
Nearly T-boned a vehicle that had the right-of-way, and then in blowing that stop sign, they were going too fast, so they went into the oncoming lane of southbound Center Street and almost went head-on with another car.
The pursuit down I-5 reached speeds of 112 miles an hour before ending with spike strips, and that driver surrendering. The live-streamed video taken just south of Olympia has now been placed into evidence. To another chase now, one that turned deadly on I-205 in West Lynn last night. We learned today the driver was suspected in a Halloween holdup at a Central Oregon restaurant. Police say the man in this surveillance video who robbed Sassy's in Redmond in October was 54-year-old Douglas York. Here's the manager at the time.
And then he told me that he had had a bad day. He threw a Crown Royal bag on the counter and showed me his gun that was underneath in his waistband.
York later pleaded guilty and was supposed to be sentenced yesterday. Instead, he escaped house arrest and was spotted speeding in Clackamas County, according to sheriff's deputies. As they tried to stop him, they say he rear-ended another car, then eventually lost control, rolled over, and was ejected. He died at the scene. Multnomah County Animal Services is pausing dog intakes and adoptions due to a deadly outbreak of bacteria. The county says 2 dogs have died because of it, with a 3rd suspected case. The animal shelter is working with the state to contain that bacteria, which can cause rapid onset pneumonia. No word at this point on when intake and adoptions will start back up. In national headlines, the Department of Homeland Security, which operates Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, is on the verge of a shutdown. It's after lawmakers failed to agree to reforms around the president's mass deportation program. NBC's Ryan Nobles has more on how long this shutdown may last.
In Minnesota this morning, a massive shift in immigration enforcement in the wake of the deaths of American citizens Renee Good and Alex Preddy at the hands of immigration officers.
A significant drawdown has already been underway this week and will continue to the next week.
The shift comes as lawmakers in Washington have left town without a plan to fund the sprawling Department of Homeland Security long term. Democrats demanding reforms to the administration's mass deportation program first. Does it in any way open the door then to you voting for maybe a short-term extension on the DHS bill now that they're at least showing some sense of changing their tactics when it comes to ICE?
I'm glad that there's negotiations going on, but at this point for me, this idea that we're going to continue to fund them at this level after what they've done to my state, that's not in the cards for me.
The Democrats' decision to block funding will impact departments like FEMA, the Coast Guard, and TSA. But it won't affect ICE, which has more than $75 billion to spend after the Republicans passed their so-called One Big Beautiful Bill last summer. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem warning the shutdown could impact services.
I think it's the wrong message to send to the world at this point in time.
Democrats want to force all ICE agents to wear body cams and no longer wear masks, as well as judicial warrants prior to ICE arrests and a uniform code of conduct for ICE operations. Republicans are willing to deal.
I just plead with my Democrat colleagues. I mean, whatever your issues are with Border Patrol and immigration, et cetera, don't shut down FEMA, TSA, the Coast Guard.
But with Congress scheduled to be on recess next week, the DHS shutdown could last a week or more, with President Trump insisting he will not give in on several of the Democrats' demands.
They have some things that are really very hard to approve.
New developments today in the search for Nancy Guthrie. The FBI increasing the reward for information leading to her location or the conviction of anyone involved in her abduction. The Pima County Sheriff addressing reports of tension between the FBI and his department over evidence and DNA testing, saying, quote, "It's not even close to the truth," and that the FBI agreed with his decision to send evidence to a private crime lab.
There's no arguing there. There's no fight. A sheriff didn't block anything. This has always been a case where we both work very close together.
The department also looking for video evidence, sending this alert to people with Ring cameras within a 2-mile radius of Nancy's home, requesting any video showing vehicles, traffic, pedestrians, or suspicious activity from January 1st to February 2nd. To Salem now, where Oregon's Republican lawmakers are criticizing a move by Democrats over the state's gas tax referendum. Democrats are trying to advance a bill that would move the election on that gas tax earlier in the year, from November to May. During 2 public hearing sessions earlier this week, a vast majority of submitted testimony was in opposition to the bill. Senate Republican leader Bruce Starr claims Governor Kotek and Democratic lawmakers are trying to increase the chances of the measure passing with a low turnout election. He also says the petition Oregonians signed specifically mentions November as the election date. We'll continue to follow this story for any further developments. Well, Valentine's Day is tomorrow, and Grant McComey has date ideas, believe it or not, for people seeking romance in the outdoors. And in Italy, an Oregon teen going for gold. How Alessandro Barbieri fared in today's half-pipe final. Just wrapping up. We'll be right back.
I'm Matthew Herchick, new morning anchor at KGW. I'm a huge sports fan, and I know I might be from the Buckeye State, but I'm excited to explore what the Rose City has to offer. I want to make sure you're prepared for the day, whether it's bringing you breaking news or sharing those inspirational stories that make you smile. We've got you covered. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to Portland's #1 streaming newscast, Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Welcome back. Romance is on the mind and in the heart this Valentine's Day weekend. And Graham McComey has some great leads for several backroad adventures. This week's Getaway offers a sort of nostalgic romance when Oregon's waterfalls are at their wintertime finest.
While Oregon impresses us with its size and diversity and natural beauty, I cherish the nooks and crannies the most. Bridge Creek Falls in the Tillamook State Forest is an open invitation to romantics like me. I have a love affair with its grace, beauty, and absolute simplicity. It's a love that carries across Oregon wherever the water flows and falls to whirl, shimmer, and ripple. Bert Olheiser and Nancy J. Smith are head over heels in love with waterfalls too.
Wow, I can't wait to see how tall this is below it.
The husband and wife team are photo pros who capture Oregon with a camera.
I'll just say, Nancy, work your magic.
Both agree the magic of Munson Creek Falls State Park is the short hike that leaves all distractions behind.
I like along the way, and life is like that too. If we just take the time and try to do that, it's so much better.
Smith has been leading us across Oregon for more than 35 years through her majestic Northwest calendars that capture the outdoors in a way that will fill you with pride and put a smile on your face.
I just work from my heart, and I just know that there's something that I'm seeing that I'm really liking, and people go, wow, it feels like you're there.
Oh, I agree. It's the adventure of travel that's everything, especially in the kingdom of Oregon waterfalls, the Columbia River Gorge, where Shepherd's Dell rolls out of Young's Creek in a foamy moment. 1 mile east, Bridal Veil State Park offers an easy stroll down a half-mile trail.
It looks like the veil of a bride's gown coming back.
The park's namesake falls is best enjoyed with someone special.
In fact, a lot of people actually get their wedding invitation stamped at the Bridal Veil post office. So there is a lot of nostalgia there and a lot of connection to that history.
And aren't we lucky to have a state parkland like Silver Falls, where history and beauty are easy to come by?
You've got the geology, waterfalls. That's why most of us are here. It's why I'm probably here today and you're here today, and why there is a park at all.
Silver Falls State Park offers 9,000 acres of rustic romance, plus a lodge that stands large from rock and timber construction.
If you're a first-time visitor, I say come here first. 90% of the people who come here come to South Falls and come to the Waterfall. But when you get back on the canyon, that's when you get that experience of being in the wilderness.
And don't forget your rain gear and hiking boots. Each will make your discoveries more comfortable. At Silver Falls State Park with photographer Jeff Kastner, Grant McComey, KGW.
Just beautiful, right? Well, Grant has the details, directions, and contact information on the Grant's Getaways website, or our website, I should say, on his page on the KGW website. Be sure to watch the Grant's Getaways half-hour show. It airs this Saturday and Sunday right here on KGW. Now let's get to Chris.
Yeah, walking behind the waterfalls at Silver Falls State Park is definitely an Oregon bucket list item. All right, we're going to add some water to the waterfalls. Water falling from the sky here along the North Oregon coast. That front is quickly pushing eastward. Rain on our doorstep. We'll walk you through the next few hours and the weekend in just a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Christine Padawanich. I'm a journalist at KGW, and I love exploring Portland's amazing food scene. New spot? I'm there. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the good stuff that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
All right, Chris McGinnis is here. It's Valentine's Day weekend, kind of exciting.
Yeah, and you know, if Rod Hill were standing here right now, he'd be like, it's going to be nice and rainy and great to snuggle up with your snookums.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I won't say that, but I will say that we are going to get a little wet this evening. And then the weekend is actually looking less and less wet. So yeah, so we got a little bit of everything, including the surf's up along the Oregon coast right now. Watch out. By the way, if you are heading to the beach this weekend, the sneaker wave threat's a little higher. We've got a pretty good swell coming in from the northwest. So that means occasional waves that run way up farther than the prevailing wave pattern. And the good rule of thumb is never turn your back to the ocean, ever. Yeah, it's raining right now from our Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera. You can kind of make out Cascade Head there off in the distance. It's getting a little wet. The breeze picking up there as well. And that rain is headed east. It's raining now in the Kelso, Longview area, raining through the North Oregon Coast Range and along the North Oregon coast as well. And that is pushing eastward. So rain is moving in. It will move out, though, this evening, probably sometime between about 7:30 and 9. And you'll see that with Futurecast in just a second. All right, the changes for the weekend are as follows. Few showers tomorrow, emphasis on few. And then the Sunday forecast, I mean, at this point, it looks like we may actually see some sun, some actual, an hour or two of sun on Sunday with just one or two slight chances for showers. And you'll see all of that with Futurecast here. First this evening, again, that front comes in, hits us with rain between 2 and about 8 o'clock or so. And then the back edge of the rain swiftly moves to the east. So that should effectively shut off most of the rain for us overnight tonight. And throughout tomorrow, I mean, we get, 1 or 2 showers that pass through the area, but it is not looking like the wet day that it did a couple of days ago. And then fast forward into Sunday, I mean, Futurecast likes a few sunbreaks over the area, so you can't completely rule out a raindrop, but the weekend is looking not as wet as it did a couple of days ago. All right, moving into the first part of next week, we get another weather system on Monday that will bring more rain and cascade snow. Mostly cloudy with a few showers tomorrow, high of 48. If we do manage some sun breaks on Sunday, we could be inching into the low 50s for daytime highs, which is actually about average for this time of the year. Rainfall potential, pretty good slug of rain tonight on the order of a quarter to maybe a third of an inch. And then the rainfall rates for the rest of the weekend will be not much. All right, the other big story is we've been talking about the return for cascade snow. Maybe not a lot all in one shot, but cold enough weather that will allow whatever does fall, precipitation-wise, to fall in the form of snow. Tonight I got 3 to 8's probably a little optimistic, but 3 inches at least at the Cascade ski resorts tonight through Saturday. Monday and then Thursday, Friday present pretty good opportunities for good slugs of snow up there. Snow levels do lower to about 2,000 feet or less in the Cascades later on next week. This afternoon, they're between 3,500 and 4,000 feet. Tomorrow, 3,000. And again, as we mentioned, about 3 to 8 inches or so up at the Cascade ski resorts. Wet weather on Monday, President's Day, a holiday for a lot of folks. And then Tuesday, kind of a break in the action. Then the next weather system comes in Thursday. You get the idea. We put all that together, and the forecast getting into next week is cooler and wetter, and with it being cooler, the snow levels will be lower. In fact, overnight lows in Portland will be down in the mid-30s with those snow levels as low as about 2,000 feet. There's your 7-day forecast. Again, we hit about 49 before the rain moves in this afternoon. It'll be a quick shot of rain, and then as we mentioned for the weekend, Tim, a few showers Saturday, shower chance on Sunday. Back to you.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Chris. Long before the Rio Olympics, Jackie Wiles was competing in a much smaller one, the childhood birthday party with an Olympic theme and the moment that now feels pretty foreshadowing. It's coming up in 2 minutes.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
I'm Trina Green, a morning anchor at KGW and new dog mom to this sweet guy. Meet Barry. I love getting your mornings off to a great start, whether it's sharing stories of resilience and triumph in our community, or following breaking news from Beaverton to Gresham and everywhere in between. We've got you covered, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to KGW Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Welcome back, and our local Olympians continue to shine on the world stage. This afternoon, we're tracking Portland native Alessandro Barbieri. The 17-year-old is chasing gold later this morning in the men's halfpipe event. It was a tight race, Barbieri finishing just moments ago with 75 points. So he had a solid first run that put him into 5th place, but fell during his second and third runs. He finished 10th. He's only 17, folks. He'll be back. Japan taking home gold and bronze. Australia holding on to silver. And Portland's ski racer Jackie Wiles finished off possibly the last Olympic race of her career, taking home a bronze medal. Before Wiles was even in the Olympics, she was tearing it up on the slopes of Mount Hood. There she is as a young girl, something Wiles' former teammate Casey Barone knows all too well. Barone says Wiles has always been full of energy. And at one of Barone's childhood birthday parties, which was Olympics themed, Wiles sang the national anthem. We'll show you the video. That's her in the middle.
We had skeleton on skateboards in my driveway, ski racing around cones with poles and rollerblades, and just different events. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
The medal count is brought to you on KGW by On Point Community Credit Union.
All right, here's a look at your medal count. The U.S. sitting in third place now for total medal count with 14, behind Italy and Norway, who both have 18. We're back right after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
All right, Chris is here with a look at the weather, including a few sun breaks this weekend.
This weekend, yes. Rain moving in, though, right now.
Right now.
So if you're about to get out the door, here's radar. Again, rain along the North Oregon coast, beginning to sweep through the Coast Range into the Willamette Valley. It'll be raining before some folks are done their lunch break, I think. All right, 7-day forecast, 49 before the rain moves in. A few showers tomorrow. I think we see some sun breaks on Sunday.
I like that idea.
There you go.
All right, we'll take it. Thanks, Chris, very much. And thank you all for watching. Don't forget you can stream the news at noon on your own schedule. Download the free KGW Plus TV app. Available now on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock.